All right, here we go. Is that windy to you? Does that sound windy? Hold up. All right, there we go. Does that sound better? Good deal. Well, boys and girls, wind can be difficult. As you could hear from that audio just now, it is a nice windy day out here right before a major cold front is about to blow through. And so I wanted to take today's video to explain how to catch fish when the conditions completely change. You are dealing with dead calm, perfect weather, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, wind, rain, hellfire. That last one was a joke. And when conditions change like crazy, especially here in the fall, when you have cold fronts and warm fronts kind of alternating back and forth, it is a windy time of the year to fish. And so whether you are boat fishing or pond fishing for bass, I hope this video can explain to you guys how to better target bass in windy conditions. Don't be afraid, wind is your friend. Let's talk about it. Well, what's going on, folks, and welcome back to Tyler's Reel Fishing. Today's episode is a very exciting one, so stay tuned. We've got some awesome fish catches coming throughout the entire video, as well as a new Minnesota personal best largemouth, an absolute chungus. It is a big boy, or big girl, whatever they are. So make sure you all stay tuned for that. But of course, I am so glad that you guys are here. My name is Tyler, and I make it my goal on this channel to help you guys become better bass anglers with every single video that you watch. And so we're gonna jump right into the content real quick, but I have to talk quickly about the sponsor of today's video, which is BassForecast app. As you guys have seen from my boat deck, I've used BassForecast and promoted them for the past few years now. And what BassForecast is a fishing app that gives you lure and location recommendations for your fishing day, depending on any and all weather conditions. The guys at BassForecast are geniuses. They have designed an algorithm that takes every weather condition into effect, as well as past and future weather trends, to tell you a 1 to 10 rating on how your fishing day is going to be, as well as I mentioned 5 different lures to try and 3 different areas to try. And the awesome thing about the app today is that I checked it on my way to the lake, and the #1 lure it recommended was a jig. And as you guys will see, I will catch quite a few fish on the jig today. So if you guys want to check out BassForecast, it has a free premium subscription for 30 days linked below. You get the entire app and all of its features unlocked, as well as getting a $10 Tackle Warehouse gift card. So you're literally, it's a wash. If you buy tackle, get the $10 BassForecast membership and you get a free Tackle Warehouse gift card. And downloading that app helps me out a ton. So without further ado, let's jump into the content. So as y'all can see, I moved to the calm side of the lake to film this video, but on the other side, it is incredibly windy. We've got probably 20 to 30 mile an hour winds, and it's just something that you can't control. You know, as anglers, we want to have the best weather possible all the time, but especially when it comes to the fall and the spring, you have cold fronts and warm fronts that move through like crazy, basically alternating cold, warm, until of course it gets to summer or winter when it's just straight cold fronts or straight warm. And so you're gonna have windy conditions, in my experience, about 1/3 to 1/2 the time that you go out on the water. And when I was first beginning bass fishing, wind definitely scared me. I didn't quite know whether I should hide from the wind, whether I should stay in the wind. When I was bad at casting, my casts were horrible and they would get caught up in the wind and not land at all where I wanted them to. And so most of the time, I would try to escape the wind. And that is tip #1 I have for you guys: do not escape the wind. As a fairly new angler, it might be intimidating to try to go into the wind, or if you're bank fishing the side of the pond that's very, very windy might be intimidating, and you might have trouble casting at first. But as soon as you learn how to be more efficient in your fishing on the windy side of your lakes or your ponds, I think you're gonna find a lot more increased success. So tip #1, don't escape the wind. Now, of course, if it's way too windy and your boat can't even handle being in the wind, of course, escape the wind. You know, things like grass lines, docks, lay down trees, if those are out of the wind, the fish that live there don't have a clue that it's windy on the other side of the lake, so you can fish those areas just like you would any normal calm fishing day. But I have a few things that I want to tell you guys about wind and how to best target these fish in windy situations. So what wind does, as I've explained all the time on my channel, is that it stirs up an ecosystem. Just like current does in a river, wind causes current under the water and causes all kinds of ecosystem things to be stirred up. So the plankton, the bait fish, everything just gets active in the wind, and bass absolutely love to become more active in the wind. I'm not going to say you can't catch them on lures that are slow, but you're going to have a lot more success by covering a lot of water and throwing reaction bait. So I'm talking lipless crankbaits, spinner baits, chatter baits, Texas rig swim baits, anything like that. You're gonna have more success with that in the wind on a windy day, usually, than you would have on a calm day. So when fishing shallow in the wind, you have to cover a ton of water, making as many casts as possible with reaction lures. Can you catch fish on slow lures in wind up shallow? Of course you can. I'm just giving you guys the highest percentage fishing tactics to help you guys catch more fish. Now, when it comes to deep fishing, that is one thing that I think is incredibly untapped when it comes to windy situations. And I understand that for you pond anglers, and especially you guys that have smaller fishing boats like a John boat or a smaller bass boat, fishing out deep with your electronics may not be totally attainable for you guys. And so that's why I talked about fishing shallow first, reaction baits, that sort of thing. But for you deep anglers that have electronics, that have a bass boat and a nicer trolling motor, I would say you spend time, especially when it's windy, because a lot of guys can catch fish offshore when it's calm. It's super easy to stay on a brush pile, to stay on a ledge, on a rock pile when it's calm. But as soon as it gets windy, a lot of people, and especially my mind when I first started bass fishing, even until the past few years, I thought, all right, the fish are all being pushed up against the bank, all the bait fish is there, I'm gonna go from where I was offshore as soon as it gets windy and start beating the bank. But everybody does that. And so if you can learn, as I'll show you guys in this video, I'll have some awesome big fish catches from way deep, 25 feet of water. Fishing deep is definitely more untapped, I think, than fishing shallow when it comes to wind. And wind, just like it does up shallow, can also stir up ecosystems and especially cause current out deep. Now, one more thing about cast position when it comes to windy situations. You want to make sure that you are casting upwind and reeling back down. Now, I'm not saying you can't catch fish by casting downwind and reeling back up. You're gonna get a longer cast that way because you're gonna be casting with the wind. But as you'll see in these next few minutes of these fish catches, I'm casting upwind and reeling back down, because if you think about it, the wind causing a current underneath the water is literally moving all of the forage and things the fish are eating down current, not up current. And so it looks a lot more realistic, and those fish tend to bite better when the lures are coming from upwind back down. So I don't care if you're pond fishing, fishing from the bank, fishing on a small boat, fishing on a big bass boat like I have, I would try to, if you can, position yourself where you're casting upwind and bringing it back down. All right, folks, that is enough talk. Let's jump on the front deck and show you guys some awesome fish catches from today's fishing adventure. There's a fish. Oh yeah. First cast, baby, let's go. First cast is a big one. It's a big one. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Hey, yo. We figured them out. They on the rock, yes, is what I'm talking about. As I was saying, these offshore fish are oftentimes not as affected by the wind as the shallow fish are, and that just shows it right there. Yes. He's still there? Oh. Yeah, he is. No, he's not. He dropped it again. He dropped it again. Pick it up, buddy. Ah! Man. That's crazy. I saw the rock. I saw him. That's crazy. That's so cool. That is so cool. Oh my gosh. I saw a boulder with a fish on it, and I threw it down there and he ate it, but I gotta get him. I gotta get him. That was so cool. Oh, there's two fish there. There's two fish on the front side of that boulder. That is crazy how it shows that. That is nuts. That is just nuts. That is so cool. That is so dang cool. That is so cool. I saw the stinking boulder and the fish on it. Yes. Not as big as the first one, but that is so, oh, it popped out. That is so cool. That is awesome. Oh my gosh, I love that. These deep fish, man, just get riled up. And I understand for you pond guys that the deep stuff might not be totally applicable. I'm gonna go shallow for you guys here in a second, I promise, but this is awesome. I like this. That's a fish. That was a fish, I knew it. Ha ha ha. Just keep them pinned, make sure they don't jump. Those deep fish are jumpers usually. Set the hook and they swim straight to the surface. Come on, buddy. Jeez. Might be bigger than I think, but also might not be. Might just be playing him. Oh gosh, oh gosh, oh gosh, that was close. Oh, it's a nice one. It's a chungus. It's a chungus. It's a chungus. Look at this thing. It's only like 3.5 pounds, but look at the, oh, he's bleeding. Gosh, I got him good. Look at the belly on that thing. You don't think he wanted that football jig? Yeesh. On the Connect scale, I'll have the scale linked below with a discount code for you guys. I love this scale so much. Oh, scale is all zeroed out. Oh, a little smaller than I thought it was. 3 pounds on the dot. So not a 3.5 pounder, but still just an absolute chunk monkey. That thing's awesome. Good grief, I'm gonna get a selfie with that one. See you, buddy. Man, that's fun. This is a fun time. Good old-fashioned fun house. That could have been rough. It is so easy to give up when you get to the lake and you see how windy it is, but don't do it, folks. Do I have any 8 or 10 XDs? I wonder. Hey-yo, there's a 10 XD. Perfect. Now that the wind is not howling, I'm gonna get out my deep crankbait rod. If I still have it, yes I do, perfect. We had a 6 XD on there, but the 6 XD with this combo, 10-pound line, 10-pound of Braze X, 7.6 medium heavy, 7.10, sorry, 7.10 medium heavy. It only gets to like, I don't know, 16 feet, something like that. And we're sitting in like 20, 18 to 20. So an 8 XD would be the perfect happy medium here. That is the right color though for this water clarity. Gosh, this crankbait is so heavy. Alrighty then, let's go. Let's give it a jolly try. Oh, I got something. Oh, I got something. On the 10XD. It feels like a pike. I don't think it's a bass. I could be wrong, but it feels like a pike. We're gonna spot lock us here. Oh, is it a bass? What the heck, is that a walleye? What did I get? Literally just casting the 10XD around as I was getting ready to head to the next rock that I saw. And this bit, I don't think it's a bass. If it is, it's big. I think it's a pike or a walleye. Well, yeah, I'm gonna get my net. I'm getting the net. Yep, it's a bass, and he's barely hooked. He's barely hooked. That's why I'm getting my net. Because he's not hooked very well, but he's big. And he is in the net. Oh, 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 oh. Okay, folks. Oh, this might be my biggest Minnesota bass ever. I'm not joking. This is big. I need to get a camera first to show people that you can catch Minnesota bass on a 10XD. Wow, that's an absolute chunk right there. Oh, well, and despite him only having 2 little treble hooks, he was hooked pretty good. That thing is fat. That's over 4 for sure. Might be pushing 5. I'm gonna put him in the live well for 1 second, recuperate him, and then get some pictures and a weight. Good, good, good. That's a fat fish right there. Mucho fat. If it's 4.5, we're gonna call it a Minnesota PB because I didn't weigh the other one, but I'm guessing the other one was 4.5. 5.06. Yes, that right there is a Minnesota 5-pounder. Let's go. Love that, man. It just goes to show that the wind definitely helps the deep bite. And after this fish, let's head shallow for a few more minutes, see if I can get you guys that are kind of the more pond-oriented anglers tips with battling the wind and with more shallow-oriented lures, but that's incredible. A new Minnesota PB. Yes. There's one. Oh, a stinking pike. A pikaroo. That right there, though, was a little shallow chatterbait fish. Not a bass, but you know what? Just for the sake of showing you all that fish are shallow, and you can catch them on a reaction bait, there's a little pike. That a fish? No way. That's a fish, and that's a nice fish, whatever it is. Another one on the chatterbait. Just covering water on this flat, and we got him. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yes, sir. Ha ha ha. That's what I'm talking about. Heck to the yeah. 2.5, 3-pounder. Beautiful fish. Oh, I love Minnesota. Such a fun time. Do not let the wind deter you from going out there. Fish are active. They're feeding. They're hungry. Oh gosh. That's a fish, isn't it? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Right in the good clump right there. None of these are giants, but it's just a lot of fun, dude. Well, everybody, I hope that you enjoyed this episode of Tyler's Reel Fishing. It was jam-packed with information, fish catches, all of the above. And I'm so pumped that you guys are learning along with us. Fishing in the wind is fun. It can be challenging, but as soon as you figure out what those fish are doing, oftentimes they're very predictable and they're super easy to catch. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. Hit that subscribe button if you are not subscribed to the channel yet. And we'll see y'all next time on TRF. I love wake surfers. They're my favorite. Look at me, I'm doing a little bit of surfing the wake myself.